Hi everyone. I'm a business director in the audiovisual team at Mindshare UK, so working across TV and video for a number of clients. I'm very conscious this is the last presentation of the day, so what I plan to do is just a really quick sort of 10-minute run through of some of the ways we have seen brands link TV with their online activity. So that's right through from user-based interaction through to some of the more recent programmatic ways of linking the two together, and then just a little bit on the way that TV affects online. And then hopefully that will set the tone nicely for the panel session that follows. When we're talking about maximising the benefits of TV and online, one of the simplest ways is to ask the user to initiate that interaction. So examples here would be things like Blipper, like the ITV X Factor app, or some of the work we did with Shazam and Unilever to encourage people to blast themselves off into space. So what we're talking about here is generally quite deep levels of engagement. So the engagement rate we see will be really good, but fairly limited scale. So it's very much a sort of narrow and deep engagement. As we all know, much of the kind of conversation around TV happens on social media now. Twitter have a stat that 40% of all Twitter traffic at peak time is related to TV. But it's not always necessary to utilise specific products that link TV and online to actually take advantage of that. So I've got a quick video here that shows something actually from Mindshare in the US, where Volvo targeted competitor TV ads during the Super Bowl on Twitter. And they actually generated a lot of online conversation off the back of somebody else's TV ads.
On Super Bowl Sunday, the US is big, loud, and expensive. Sweden is Swedish. So how does Volvo compete with the other car brands and their millions spent on commercials during the game? We don't. We steal it.
When you see a car commercial during the game, any car commercial, not Volvo, you can tweet using the hashtag #VolvoContest.
The interception was simple. Their commercials would give you a chance to win one of our cars for someone you love. Just tweet their name to Volvo during any car commercial. When Mercedes wanted you to look here, people immediately went here. When Lexus spent 4.5 million for this, Twitter looked like this. Shifting the social conversation to Volvo. With up to 2,000 tweets per minute every time their commercials aired, we changed the Super Bowl conversation from one loud 30-second roar to an ongoing conversation about Volvo that lasted the entire game. We were the only car company to trend both nationally and globally.
So they weren't advertising on TV, they were letting all the other car companies do that for them.
And just like that, their millions of dollars worth of car commercials turned into a social conversation about Volvo, helping our XC60 to a 70% sales increase the month following the game, the highest in its segment.
So that's actually a really simple, creative idea, but really effective in linking online with TV. However, for a lot of brands, we do need a more technical solution where perhaps the brand is being measured on softer metrics like awareness and consideration rather than actually trying to drive engagement in some of the previous cases. And that's where the kind of technical solutions come in. So I'm sure most people in the room are aware of this sort of technology where it's kind of centralized listening to ads which have been fingerprinted or had an audio watermark inserted. And then when that ad goes out, the display advertising is also served. What we find with this sort of advertising is a lot of brands are using this for extended reach to TV. So almost a kind of GRP replacement tool or competitor conquesting as well. because it doesn't actually rely on any kind of TV viewing or TV kind of engagement to serve the digital ad. So what kind of we're looking at more and more is panel matching data. So online video is a place where BARB data has been used quite frequently. So matching it with third-party data, whether that's from the Nielsen NetView panel or other third-party companies like Xlate or Experian, and then using that data to target online video. And as kind of programmatic technology in TV grows, and as more and more kind of BARB's remit grows beyond simple linear and 7-day catch-up, then what we'll see, I think, is more of this sort of data matching happening in the TV space. And what that will allow people to do is bring that spot decisioning forward, and also make wholesale changes to TV schedules kind of closer up until the time of transmission based on data. We already do something similar with Sky at Mindshare and Argos, and I know Dave Easton sitting over there who I work with very closely on this, but it's basically bringing Sky's viewing data and merging that with Argos's sales data. And at the minute, we obviously are executing that manually. So our TV team are phoning up, moving spots and upweighting ratings on channels to deliver that based on the sales data we're seeing. The next logical step of that, I think, is a programmatic solution where the airtime can be automatically updated based on that sales data coming through. So, if these programs and channels are working, then those spots are automatically upweighted. And we're still talking in the UK about broadcast TV, so we're still looking at spot indexes, but we can still programmatically execute on that data even if it's not addressable. And there's of course no reason why all sorts of data, whether that's social media affinities or other third-party data, can't be imported on top of client-specific first-party data. And then kind of, I guess one of the limitations with that panel matching, again, is that it's statistical, and there's not necessarily a guarantee that the TV viewer has exhibited the behaviour we want to then target them online. And that's where kind of deterministic technology is coming. And then I'm aware that I'm showing Sky Advance here, and there is still a certain amount of matching that needs to go on from the 3 million homes on their panel to the 10 million subscribers overall. But the concept of it, of knowing TV set-top box viewing data, whether that's content spot or sponsorship bumpers, and linking that using the Sky ID, which works cross-device, to then target your online advertising, I think is something we'll see more and more of, as we'll see more and more kind of connected TV devices being used, and the supply into video DSPs, that kind of connected TV inventory growing and allowing addressable TV advertising on the TV set. I think it's also worth mentioning that Sky, to deliver this solution, work with a lot of digital data partners, so people like DataZoo, FreeWill, YoSpace, Videology. Really kind of, if we're talking about combining the TV world and the digital world, then you need that expertise in both parts, and to bring it together to give the kind of solutions that advertisers are after. We've already had one of our finance brands and one of our travel brands at Mindshare test out Sky Advance, and initial results look positive in terms of the uplift on the digital metrics that we saw for viewers who'd been previously exposed on TV. So that's a bit about how some of the advertisers at Mindshare have used some of this technology or kind of creative processes to link TV and digital. One of the kind of more important questions, I suppose, is why. These are some of the ways that brands have taken TV data and then used that to retarget online. I think that, as we kind of move forward over the last few years, people are looking at it more than purely incremental reach to TV. So where people take advantage of a lot of the kind of advantage of digital kind of technology. So they're looking at targeting, they're looking at sequential messaging, they're looking at using that data afterwards and trying to understand their audience better. And again, as we see more connected TV supply into that space, then being able to deliver this on TV as well, and sequential messaging and things like that become possible. And as well as kind of the benefits to advertisers of targeting, at Mindshare we have the concept of being human, and that is that when we choose to link our TV and digital activity, we shouldn't just do it just because we can. We need the audience to be at the heart of it, and need to actually be creating a good advertising experience for them. So we don't want to absolutely bombard them on every screen we have access to. We want to tell them the brand story in a way that they can engage with, and that they, improving their experience with the brand. And then this chart, so this is trying to understand how TV and online work together. And I think actually when you look at it, the impact of TV on all areas of the client's business, on all the other media, is extremely complex. This study is from a Group M and Thinkbox piece of work that looks at the kind of impact of all media on all other aspects of that. And it is an increasingly kind of complex space to analyse. If we look at purely the impact of TV on paid search and on online display, then TV drives 17% of the short and medium term response on paid search and 15% on online display. And those findings were actually backed up by an Accenture study in the US, which showed that if you take out multi-platform TV, your paid search drops by 21% and your online display ROI drops by 18%. At Mindshare, understanding this kind of complex system is what keeps our business planning guys extremely busy. And they've had a look at some of our clients and the impact of TV on their kind of paid search activity, and they found that up to 25% of the effectiveness of their paid search was driven by TV, and that was on desktop. And then if you look at mobile and tablet, it was up to 30%. So we know that TV has this huge effect on all other media and all other aspects of the business. So the next question is, if we know that TV has this huge effect, then how much should I be spending on TV? And in the Thinkbox and Group M piece of work, it suggested that TV can be 2.7 times higher than online spend before it becomes inefficient. So we definitely shouldn't underestimate the impact of TV in driving all these other online media. And the Accenture study that I mentioned earlier bore that out as well, in that actually if you take 4% of your budget out of multi-platform TV and move it into online media, you start seeing drops in overall media ROI across everything. And then I suppose finally, when you think about the long-term effects of TV, so again, the study showed the impact on brand metrics of TV was far higher than anything delivered online. It's clear that it does have a huge role. It does work with online, and then kind of as we get more of this data through, what we'll be able to do is kind of understand the synergies between TV and online, how they're working better together, and there'll be more opportunities for advertisers to maximise these benefits and then really understand how TV and online are driving each other and driving their business. And that is kind of our vision of the future for TV and online together. And that's everything. Thank you.